Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the YouTube channel grecochess, the channel of the game of chess. In this video, we're continuing facing the chess.com bots, and now it's time to conclude with the intermediate bots. But let me first share the screen with you and explain what's happening. What are the bots? They are computers that play chess, but they don't play necessarily the perfect chess. They play chess depending on their rating, on their skill. And in previous videos, we faced all the beginner bots, 15 of them, whose rating started from 250 with Martin and ended with 850 with Karim. We continued with the beginners. We were perfect. We won all the games, no draws or losses. Continued the intermediates. Most of them we won very easily, but we had a few draws and losses. And now we reached the point where we're playing against the most advanced, the last of them, Mateo from Argentina. Defeated Mateo when I had the white pieces in the previous video, and now having the black pieces. And let's see what can happen when Mateo has the white and I have the black. And the rating of Mateo is 1400. At least that's what chess.com believes. And let's start the game. Mateo says, hola, amigo, it's siesta. Let's play. Yes, Mateo. And you start with your white pieces. When the pawn goes to e4, what will I do now? I'll play the defense I know the best, the French one. Not necessarily the best, but it's only the one that I know the best. Pawn to e6. Do you speak French? A little bit, Monsieur Mateo. And now he plays the expected move, pawn to d4, and I play pawn to d5. What are you up to? Well, the standard French opening. Knight goes to d2. How will we reply? Many times players may put their knight on c6 because the d4 is unprotected, but will soon be protected. So I prefer the other knight to f6. And he threatens my knight, sending the pawn to e5, and my knight goes to d7. This is called the French defense Tarat's close. You can follow here how they call the various openings. Pawn to c5. I need a little bit more space. Pawn goes to d3. Now, let's develop the knight to c6. Can I win the pawn? I'm attacking twice, defended twice. Or let's put the queen to b6 to attack a third time. Defended the third time. What can I do now? Let's develop my bishop to e7. Pawn to b3. What I need now is a little bit more space for my bishop on e7, and I think that pawn going to b3 might help me. Let's see. I'm going to take the pawn at d4. Heading toward the endgame. Why? What makes you think we'll exchange queens soon? Now, can I take the pawn on e4? No, attack twice, defend it twice. Can I check bishop to b4 check? Or is it better put two pawn? Let me check now to force him to reply. Should they exchange the bishops? Not necessarily. I can take it back if he takes, but I'm going to put any problem with the Greek gift. If I castle king side, he takes an h7, king takes, knight goes to g5, check. Queen is blocked. But let's avoid it. Let's put the pawn to h6 to be safe. There is no Greek gift, as it's called, meaning bishop to h7 check and then followed by knight. Okay, I'm going now. How can I do? With the queen or with the knight? Let's check with the queen. King moves. This means no castling for Mateo. Now I can do the castling without fear of Greek gift. You want to take my pawn. Oh, it's not my pawn. You use my pawn to attack my queen. No, my queen wants to be safe, and I'm going to send my queen to b6 for now. Queen to c1. Any threat. I don't like my knight being blocked here. I need my knight to take some air. So let's start moving the. I cannot take the pawn. The bishop, I'm not sure. Of course, I can take 2 pawns for the knight. 1, 1, 2. If my knight from c6 takes on d4, one of the knights takes back the other. No, I'm not going to do it. Let's say send pawn to 5 to gain, or maybe to f6 to gain some space and attack the pawn chain. I'm going to take the first pawn on e5. Ooh, and now we have a wonderful fork. Pawn will go to e4 and attack simultaneously bishop and knight. I'm going to take the bishop. So I already won a piece for a pawn. But how safe I am? Yeah. Uh, because what good is it to get material? Oh, yeah, I have the problem of the pawn on e6. It is unprotected, but I'm going to send my knight to f6, attack the queen and protect the pawn on e6. Queen goes back. What do I need to do now? Can I take the queen once more? And so what? No, let's send my bishop to d7. So now at least the two rooks can contact with each other. Exchange, where I had the material, let's exchange the knights. And after you take back, I'm threatening your queen. No. I'm not threatening you. I'm going to exchange the queens. Enjoy a game, this okay, yes, but you are a piece down. And now I'm attacking the pawn on e3. Oh, you don't even protect it, although you don't have too many ways to protect it. You can only protect it sending it. No, it was a check before the discover. I'm going to take your pawn now. The pawn on g2. Let's develop my bishop. If possible, exchanging the knight. I'm heavy material. So I take the knight. If I don't take it, my knight is near danger. What are you going to take? My bishop? Oh, you took my bishop instead of my knight. So check here. Discover. I'm going to win the rook on g1 with my discover check. Yes. At least exchange I'm going to win. Yes. How are things going? By now, I have an extra rook and pawns, an extra pawn. My only none of the pawns of Mateo pawns is passed. The further one is on the 5th rank, blocked by my pawn on the 6th. Let me send my rook to the open C file. Check from C2. Exchange rooks. Win another pawn. And your king is blocked on the 1st rank. Can I win more pawns? Let's see. I think I can win one pawn, although your king is not constrained on the 1st rank any longer. Yes, I got this pawn. I got this pawn. And now it's only back stalemate I need to worry about. We'll win the last pawn. Yes. King is in the center, but king alone can do nothing. Constrained in 1/4 of the board. Even less than a quarter. Use my king to help the rook go for the mate. Constrain the king in the G and H files. Constrain the king in the H file. Yes, you'll win a couple of pawns, so what? Two, three moves until mate. I started getting worried about this. Like the previous game, too late to feel worried. And that's it. So we defeated Mateo with the black pieces, and by doing so, we defeated all intermediate bots. Although not all of them the first time, I have to say. Out of the 15, intermediate 13 the first time, and two of them we had some trouble until we defeated them. Let's go to the game review to see how did we do, although Mateo did not play for 1400, played way below that level. I wish my 1400 players opponents would play like that. I had 81.2 accuracy versus 72 for Mateo. And I played as if my rating was 1900 and Mateo 1650. And I wish my 1650 opponents played like that. How did we do otherwise? No brilliancies. I had one great move. Book 8 versus 7 for Mateo. So Mateo played very well so long as he was in the book, the first 8 moves. But other than that, 23 versus 15 best for me, 14 versus 8 excellent for Mateo, good 9 versus 3 for me, inaccuracies 5 Mateo, 1 for me, mistakes 2 each of us, 2 misses for Mateo and no blunders. And let's see, go move by move now. You see that the first few moves are book moves. We'll see where does the book end. This is the end of the book, and Mateo is ahead by 0.6, almost nothing. But now I play inaccuracy. But computer wanted me to start exchanging pawns, and the result is Mateo is up by 1.2. Mateo will be up for a while. This is a miss. What should he do? Do castling. Till now, okay. Either the best or excellent. Mistake. I should have sent my pawn to f6. I'll do it later, but I wanted to be able to castle without having to worry about the Greek gift. Greek gift is when the bishop from d3 takes the pawn on h7 check, king takes it, and then pawn, otherwise I'm a pawn down. Pawn knight f3 goes to d5 check, and no matter where the king goes, there is a follow-up with the queen. Now, in this position, the queen from d1 cannot immediately attack because of the knight on e2, but this would mean Mateo would need one extra move to remove the knight and perhaps even bring it near the attack. A computer may be able to calculate that. Mateo has no time to do it, but since I'm not able to calculate that much, I don't want to take a chance, and that's why I sent the pawn to h6. Bishop to b4 takes. Computer wanted to castle king side. I'm going to check again. King to f1. Well, if the best move is one that deprives you the right to castle, what can we say about that? What else can Matteo do? Send to d2 either the knight from f3 or the queen from d1 to keep castling rights. Computer doesn't like that they castled. And my queen to b6. It seems from the diagram you see below that Matteo had an advantage of 1.2, the biggest advantage Matteo ever had. If Matteo continued playing like that, it would be difficult for me to come back. But let's see what happened. In fact, you've seen what happened. Queen to c1, clearly mistake. And so from 1.2 for uh, Matteo, I am up by 1.6. Just in one move. Great move, yes. Why? Because I want to destroy the pawn chain of Matteo, give more space to my rook on f8. Otherwise, I'm constrained. Yes, I'm creating a weakness on g6, but I'm willing to take the chance instead of being cramped for the rest of the game. And now another mistake, and my advantage becomes 4.3 in just in a few moves. The moment that Mateo, it seems that Mateo is like someone that memorizes the opening, and so long as you're in your memory, you can do well. But the moment that you're out of what you know, then you are lost. That's the impression Mateo is giving me. Take the pawn. Why did queen go back? Because now it's exactly when I'm going to have the fork. Computer thinks that was an excellent. Yes, computer would rather have the pawn take and avoid the fork, but queen to d3, actually to e3, I don't think it's an excellent move. Giving the chance for the fork. Yes, of course, the best move. Nice fork. Yes, of course, now I'm at by 5.1 after winning the bishop. Taking the queen. Computer would have me send my knight to e5 to attack the queen. Yes, an excellent move, but myself, I felt if I attack, so what? Queen has too many squares to escape. And what I want to do is develop. Unless you have a case where you threaten something and this something is nowhere to go, it's lost, or you win something else, do it. But otherwise, first develop. Now it goes here. Exchange knights. Again, the computer wants me to threaten the queen I want. After that, we exchange queens, yes, because now, first of all, I had the material and I exchanged. No queens on the board, so I cannot blunder my queen. And second, look at this pawn on e3. It's going to get lost. Because once my knight goes to e5 check, the king cannot defend the f3 pawn any longer because it could only defend if it could go to f2, but with a check from f8, that's impossible. So no matter what the king does, he has only two squares to go, e1 or g1. Computer thinks g1 is the best, but doesn't make any difference. I'm going to win the pawn, win the other pawn, threaten the knight on e2. What is the idea behind that? If I can exchange, it's best. Knight, what can a knight go? It can go to c3 or d4 and attack my bishop. The bishop has enough squares to go. But instead, exchange one more piece. And now with the king going to f3, instead of e3 that the computer suggests, that's not an excellent move. That gives me the chance for a fork and win the exchange. Exactly. So now my rook ahead. Computer wants me to send the pawn to h5. Why? The pawn is blocked in any case. Doesn't win too much. But I want the open C file for my rook. I'm not sure how much I can trust the computer with the suggestions. I think that my move was better than the computer's. And now check from C2. First of all, why would black send the, excuse me, why would, I'm sorry, Mateo send the rook on F1, give me the chance for an exchange. D1 really is the best because D is an open file. Now exchange the rook, so I don't have to worry about Mateo's rook doing anything surprising because with the 4 pawns and none of them passed and no one passed the 5th rank, and even that is blocked by my pawn on 6th rank, the chances for an upset are very small. I get one pawn, threaten another one, get another one, win another one. Mateo has only one pawn left, only 5, but I'm going to win it. King is not fast enough. I got all the 5 pawns. I got all Mateo's pawns. I have rook and 5 pawns versus just rook. Only a stalemate can stop me, which is not going to happen. I'm going to be careful. I'm a little by little constraining Mateo's king on the, I'm sorry, the A file, not the H as I had said during the game, the A file. Before it was A and B, now it's just the A. And the M started coming. Where did the M start coming first? Here leading by 9.3. And now we have M10. Will it take us 10 moves to finish off the game? 7 moves. So Mateo did not even handle well this part of the game. 12. So myself, I went back. And now I'm going even further below to 6.7. No M. But now it's M8. But I need M7. 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 M3 now. From M7, I'm going to M3. Now it's M2. M1. And game is over. This means that we defeated all beginner and intermediate bots. What remains are the advanced bots. Let's give a look. There are 20 of them, not just 15. You start with Wendy, the next one from Canada, 1500. The rating becomes higher. Let's see. I'm curious if these advanced bots will play according to their rating or below that. Antonio and Pierre are from 1500. They will have 3 bots with 1600. 3 with 1700, 3 with 1800, 3 with 1900, 2000, and the last two are 2100. Let's see how can we do the advance. But in the meantime, unless anything unexpected happens, we are going to have one more puzzle rush the next video. You remember the previous one? We made a new record with 50 correct puzzles. Can we break it? Let's see. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching this video. And challenge you, viewers, if you want, you can also face these bots. And please, in the comments, tell me how did you do with these bots? Were you able to defeat them? Did you have upsets or what? And in the puzzles, once again, if you can play with us when the puzzle shows up, you can freeze your video, pause, and try to solve it before you see my ideas and if I can solve it or not. But thanks for watching. Thanks to all the subscribers, the viewers, the likes and the comments. This is grecochess. I'm your host, Harry Laosanisiris. Goodbye.